Welcome to the 1% Better podcast with your host, Chip Kispert. I'm RJ Malik, producer of this podcast. Chip, good to see you, and I see you have a guest today. So let's jump right into it. Introduce your guest and tell us what you're going to be talking about on this podcast.
Thanks, RJ. Really appreciate it. Before going any further, though, I need to add in a shout out to our work, as this podcast is brought to you by Beacon Strategies, LLC, the go-to resource for roundtables, consulting, and products that support the wealth management industry and their providers. Today, I'm pleased to have Dave Goes on the show. Dave is president of Enterprise Solution at Advyzon. Dave is a new friend that recently joined us at our Innovators Roundtable in Savannah, Georgia recently. And he also won our Mary Blackburn Partner Challenge, where he was the most interesting man in the room for sharing the Advyzon story. Dave, welcome.
Thanks so much, Chip. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to chat with you. Your accomplishments are many, but a few of those include 18 years at Morningstar, 17 years enterprise solutioning, and 11 years leading enterprise client-facing teams. I'm super excited to talk to you about kind of when you gave your talk at our recent roundtable, it was about championship teams. And I really, really look forward to kind of diving into this and digging a little bit deeper.
Absolutely.
So, I'm going to get right to it. I'd love for you to do just a quick introduction to yourself and maybe talk a little bit about why you went to Advyzon and what you see at Advyzon.
Sure. Thanks, Chip. So I'm, like you said, president of Enterprise Solutions at Advyzon. And what we do is we work with the largest wealth management organizations in the world to help bring solutions to their advisory field to their end clients. And I've been working in some capacity like this, like you said, for about 28 years. And I was really happy at Morningstar. Morningstar is a phenomenal company. I always have good things to say about them. But when I was approached by Advyzon and I saw what they had built, the singular database structure, the single source code, all in one solution, componentizable, if that's a word, I saw it as infinitely configurable and infinitely scalable. And plus, the other thing is I worked with all these guys previously. I've known Lee Andriata, who's our CEO of Investment Management Solutions, since we were 16-year-old kids. I've known Hai Lin for close to 25 years. And Hai Lin being our founder and CEO. And most importantly, though, what I saw in this platform is that it is the best large enterprise platform that I'd ever seen. And historically, they were working mostly with small to mid-sized RIAs. They definitely had large enterprise clients, but I joined because, number one, the team is assembled. So I know these guys are winners. I know it's a winning team. And then you've got a winning product. And so I jumped at the chance and I haven't looked back, and I'm just super excited about what we're building in the enterprise solution space.
That's terrific. That's terrific. So Dave, talk, you've highlighted a couple times, the team, right? What were a couple of the key drivers, right, for you and saying, hey, and you and I have chatted a little bit before about this championship team concept. How do you look at that, right? And I know you're a big baseball guy, and how do you take that? I know you played semi-pro ball at college ball. How do you take in that concept of team and really applying it to the business? Because I think everybody is trying to create good teams out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's knowing the players. And there's a reason why when you get a new CEO at a firm, they almost inevitably are going to bring over their winning team. And it's not that the other executives aren't any good. It's just they don't know them. And as an executive, you have about 3 years to show your worth. And so you need to bring those people that who are winners. You've won with them before. Or they display the characteristics of winners. And how do you tell a winner from a loser? Because they've won in the past. The beauty of business when you're working with large enterprises, you either win the deal or you lose the deal. And when you lose, what do you learn in order to not have that happen again? And so in working with Highland and in working with Lee and other folks like Brian Huckstep and Alex Riedel and folks I've known for years, I know these guys are winners. And then when you hire too, it's based on their resume. If somebody is interviewing and they can't give me examples of how they've won in specific examples, one of my favorite questions on an interview is, what's your favorite deal and why? And if they light up about how they won a deal and the amount of work they put into it and the sweat and the blood and the tears and the teamwork and the camaraderie, like that's my kind of person. So when I meet those gritty, hustle focused people who just love to win, that to me is palpable, and you can't really quantify it. It's almost like a spiritual thing. But their resume tells the results. Even the way a resume is written, it tells you, what those results were and how they came about them.
Got it. So, key, so as you're looking at the team, obviously the Advyzon management team, was powerful when you came in. If we take a look at that, great stuff. Now, from a tech standpoint, there are a lot of, and don't take this the wrong way, there are a number of different solutions out there that you're competing with. How are you different? How's Advyzon differentiating themselves in a marketplace that, there are a number of players out there?
Oh yeah, for sure. And we never disparage our competition. Like, there are so many great firms out there that have built amazing businesses. I think from our perspective, we, and really Highland, took a much different approach about 10, 12 years ago than the market was taking. So if you think about it, most of our competitors grew and added capabilities through acquisition. So they added a CRM, they acquired a performance reporting platform, a billing platform, they acquired a TAM, and they tried to put it all together in a best of breed solution. And our approach has always been different. And what I said at the outstart is Highland really had this vision of building a platform that was a singular database structure, single source code, and every piece of functionality that he built and the team built was designed to be number one in the marketplace. So if you think about it, fast forward to today, based on the advisor feedback for the T3 Inside Information Survey, the Advyzon platform has been named the best all-in-one platform for a ridiculous 8 years in a row. And it's not just the best all-in-one. For any firm that had a market share over 5%, it's CRM, best performance reporting and billing and client portal, and all of these different accolades are coming from the advisors. So we're doing something that is resonating with the advisors. In fact, one of the key numbers that we cite all the time, we just got our client survey back. So we've got 2,145 firms right now. Over 70% of them said since they've adopted the Advyzon platform, they're saving 30% or more of their time in a given week. So think about that. That's literally a day and a half of operational efficiency that's been gained. And then the other part of
that's powerful.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if, that's why we're winning. Getting back to the whole concept of the winning team, the star of our company is the platform. And that's over half of our employees are engineers and coders and technical. And it's just a fun place to be, especially when you're in a client facing role, when you say, we're going to deliver for you, and we do it, and we do it, and we do it, and we do it. And it's just so fun to be a part of that kind of team.
It certainly is. I'm listening to what you're saying here, and I've observed y'all for the last couple of years. You are building what you guys consider to be the number one delivery, and that may be in, with CRM capabilities, it may be, having some compliance oversight, it may be your trading going forward. I think that's fascinating versus we do see a lot of firms that will bolt on new functionality, but through acquisition, which creates its own integration and those types of things that can be a challenge. So I'm going to change gears a little bit, right? So you talked about joining a team, right? And joining this really good management team that you've worked with for many years or known for many years. Now, as you're building out your team, because I know you're doing that, how are you kind of taking, hey, we got this great management team, and now flipping it to build your own team to support enterprise sales at Advyzon?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets back to what I was saying earlier, which is do they have a track record of winning? And for me, it's also like tapping into my own network of folks who would I want to work with again? Who do I know knows how to get deals done, knows how to be client centric, really puts the client at the heart of everything that they're doing. Because the important thing here to remember too is that your client is part of your winning team. Your job as an enterprise solution, I say enterprise solutions instead of sales, because we are literally consulting with our clients and saying, if we were you, this is what we would do and why. And so we're in the business of creating a solution that's going to increase efficiency and drive monetization of their investment management or their wealth management platform. That is our role. So I'm looking for guys and gals that know how to do that, have done it before, and especially if I've done it with them before. Like, for instance, I recently brought on board Brad Andreatta. So he's part of the enterprise solution being focused on the bank and broker dealer channel. Mm-hmm. I've worked with Brad before. I know he's a winner. And so I knew what to expect when he came in, and he's just crushing it like I knew he would. So to me, if you're going to build that winning team, you have to have the right players on the field. Do we get it right every time? No, nobody does. But the reality is, I would say most of the clients, if not all of the clients, when I'm talking to them at industry events, at cocktail parties or whatever, they'll say things like, Mark's just so easy to work with. He's a great guy. Brad's so amazing. Like you get that kind of feedback consistently. It's kind of like being a dad when somebody comes up to you, and your kid, and they're like, your kid is he's such a gentleman. He's so respectful. He works hard. He plays hard. That to me is the proof's in the pudding with that.
That's powerful stuff. So you can hire a team, hire winners, but how do you culturally, once you hire them, how do you build?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
So this role is interesting to me because this is the smallest team that I've led in my leadership career. My last leadership role was, close to 1,000 people, and they were global. And we've got a team of about 5 people now, and it's growing quickly. And the reason I bring that up is the first time in a while where I've been a player coach. So I'm leading a lot of the deals that we're working on right now. And so the reason I'm doing that is really to be more of that servant leader up front in the weeds, blocking and tackling with my teammates, and leading by example, basically. And for some of these folks who have been at Advyzon for a while, who've come onto the team, they haven't been working with large enterprises. So there's a lot for them to learn. Mm-hmm. And the only way you do that is if you're in the meetings, you're on the field and you're getting the at-bats and you're watching other people play. And then, that to me is how you start to grow that team. And when you get those wins together, they've also got to trust me. Who is this guy? Does he win? Is he a winner? Does he bring the deals in, and does he have good client relationships? So to me, it's really about leading by example right now. And I can do that. I have that luxury because the team's smaller, so I can be involved in all these different deals with them. And I'm just having a blast because I always enjoyed working on these large global deals. And so to be back doing that in the trenches with my team has been a hell of a lot of fun.
That's terrific. That's true. So I'm going to change gears here a little bit, right? So, we've been talking about kind of that championship team. Obviously, there's some foundation there. What are you passionate about outside of business?
Well, I think part of it's the charitable aspect of why we're here today. I live in Naples, Florida, and my partner, works with the Naples Women's Shelter that focuses on eliminating domestic abuse and, human trafficking in our local community. So for me, that's always been a passion project. Even when I was a little boy and a little kid, I always would stand up for the little guys who got picked on by the bullies. I hate bullies. And people who take advantage of others. Thankfully, the good Lord blessed me with the genetics to be very big and strong. So I've had good success with bullies in my lifetime. But, like that to me is something that's hugely important. And the fact that my partner's working there all the time and she's, advocating for these kids and these women. And in fact, she's there right now, doing her thing at the op shop is what they call it. But it's like where you donate clothes. And I'm passionate about that. And of course, I'm still passionate about baseball. Baseball was my life for many years. I still play, believe it or not, in a men's league here in Naples and Fort Myers area. So I love to do that. I love to win on the field still. As long as my body will let me, I'll be taking swings.
There you go. And that the body letting you keeps getting a little bit harder every year.
Every year.
So let me, I love this conversation. It's been going on great. One of the things I'm always curious, because I look at my routine, I look at how much I travel, what gets you out of bed in the morning really excited to tackle the day? How do you think about that and getting going?
Yeah. I mean, after a doubleheader baseball game, not much gets me out of the bed on a Monday morning. But I eventually roll out and, make it happen. But, for me, it's the excitement of building the, I know it becomes like a broken record, but building winning teams and building winning solutions. Competition for me has always been where I have the most fun. And not political competition, like on the field, 100% transparency competition. And that's what I love. And Advyzon just is a rocket ship that embodies that culture. My kids say it, my partner says it all the time. It's just like, you are just so excited, and happy all the time, and that competition though, that's always been where I've had the most fun. I say it all the time when I'm on the baseball field or I'm in a business meeting, I don't think about anything else. Nothing. Like, it's just, this is my church, if you will. Like, I love doing what we do. And so it's really easy to get out of bed every morning. I mean, emotionally.
That's terrific. That's terrific. And you're right, emotionally. All right. So, before we wrap up and give you your 1% better blast time, I got one more question. And that's looking at the wealth space that we both dedicate our life to, right? Mm-hmm. What wakes you up in the middle of the night? What are the pitfalls that you and Advyzon want to see wealth firms avoid?
I mean, the thing that wakes me up is reputation. And what I mean by that is, the old saying goes, you spend 30 years building a great reputation and in 1 minute ruining it. And so it's just that relentless pursuit of delivering for our clients and making sure that what we said we were going to do, we're doing, and if even overdoing. And that's hard to do. I mean, you've been around the business for a long time. It doesn't matter what business you're in. When you build these large strategic relationships that are multifaceted, you're working with, say, like a new partner, you're figuring each other out, but the key is, I had a good friend of mine from Morningstar, Scott Burns. He always said, your job is to make sure that your client gets their next promotion, and you were a part of the reason that they did. And that's how I think about it, is we wanted to deliver so badly that we make you guys look phenomenal, because at the end of the day, they're our teammates. Like, it's not us and them, it's we building this together. And so I think the fear I have, or the concerns, are always related to that. Are we not delivering? What happened? We had a little, and you're going to have snafus with clients, and it just happens. I don't care how good of a firm you are. That's just reality. I just got off a call with a client where we had a issue porting over, it doesn't really matter what the issue is, but we had this issue. And I called him. I talked to our CEO today. He assured me it's going to be fixed, and it's going to be fixed in the next couple of days. And I'm on this for you. And he's like, I didn't even know you knew about this. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, no, it is, because your success is ours. And so you're a strategic partner for us, and we're going to get this right for you. And he's like, hey, you got to come out to Miami. Let's go have some beers and stuff like that. And it's like, that's the team. That's building that teamwork.
I couldn't agree with you more. All right. So that was super fun talking about questions. As we wrap up, we always like to give you the ability to have 60 seconds to share really a thought leadership topic that you believe is insightful. So I would love to hear your 60-second blast here. Dave, have at it.
Yeah. And I don't even know if I'll have 60 seconds worth, but I think one of the things that gets thrown around in corporate America, or corporate globally, is, our partner. We're going to partner with you. We're going to partner. But inside the halls, you don't hear a lot of partnership type of conversations. It's us and them, and they dropped the ball on this, and they did that, and they did this. And part of that's just human nature. It's tribal. It's been shown through sociological experiments over time that your tribe is the best and every other tribe sucks. And so it's very instinctual for humans to do that. So when we are working with our enterprise firms, we want them to be saying, Advyzon's a great partner. Truly, it's a spirit of partnership. We feel like they're in our offices working for us, making us grow, reducing inefficiencies. And again, I think it just gets thrown around so much, the word partner. But if you actually deliver on it, firms know, and they will bring you in for more. They will refer you to other firms. They'll move to another firm and say, I want to talk to Advyzon because they delivered for me at XYZ firm. I know they're going to deliver for me here. So that partner word, I would just caution people, when you say it, mean it.
Dave, thanks for joining me. Thank you for joining me on the Beacon 1% Better podcast. Thanks for bringing your digital know-how to the show. Really enjoyed having you.
I loved it, Chip. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Before you go, Dave, how about some contact information?
Sure. Dave.goes at advyzon.com. That's ADVYZ, not SON. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And I would love to talk to any enterprises out there that are looking to take the stack out of their tech stack and really drive efficiencies and monetize their platforms.
Excellent. All right, Chip, your contact info.
Best way to reach me is to go to beaconstrategiesllc.com or reach out to Chip Kispert on LinkedIn.
All right, sounds good. Most importantly, thank you for listening to the 1% Better podcast. We ask you to share this podcast, rate it, and leave a review because this actually helps others find the show. Again, thank you for listening. And for Chip Kispert and everyone at Beacon Strategies, I'm RJ Malik, and we look forward to you joining us for the next podcast.